What is up, YouTube? This is Defcon 3 Security coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. As you can see, I'm in my spacesuit, which clearly means that I'm at work, and we are really loaded up today. We got mags, we got a tourniquet, of course we got the Defcon 3 patch here. Under the vest we got the Defcon 3 t-shirt, right? Know your worth, know your value. Incidentally, I'm going to start selling these t-shirts. I have way too many people messaging me asking me, hey, do you sell these shirts? And the answer is yeah, maybe through Venmo or something. This week I'm going to buy a bunch of t-shirts and try to get them as cheap as possible, and then I'll let you know what the cost is. Excuse me, got the hiccups. So I know I haven't been on for a while. I've had some things going on kind of outside of my control. I'll tell you the story if you want to hear. You know, sometimes videos are about you, sometimes videos are about things in general. Today this video is about me, and if you want to hear about me and what's going on in my life, well, stay tuned. So as you guys know, I have a 1969 Mustang. Right away my best friend's probably watching this video and he's like, ooh, I'm gonna hear the story again. Alright, so here it is, guys. I have a few cars, right? One of my cars is a 69 Mustang. The other is a Toyota FJ Cruiser. And I've got a few more cars, but those two cars are what the story's about. The story's about me almost losing my mind. Like literally I went to that place. But it's also about just kind of the world we live in today. So I had a 69 Mustang, and the car looks beautiful. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to show you guys a picture of the vehicle on a computer, and hopefully this is you're able to see this. If not, I'm not sure how I can do this. I mean, I can't really edit videos at work, so I'm gonna try to just flip the camera really quick. This was my 1969 Mustang when I first got it, before, okay? If you stick around, I will show you after what happened to my car. So, I saved up money. I saved up enough money to get the car painted. Looking at that photo, you probably say to yourself, hey, that car looks awesome. Why would you touch it? It did look beautiful, but it's hard to tell, but it was actually dark green. And I wanted it to be a shiny black. Mind you, this is a car I plan on keeping for the rest of my life and passing on to my wife or my children. And I just wanted it to be done and perfect, right? I know it's a little vain, but it is what it is. So I took it to a couple of shops, and the thing is, people were like, the soonest we can even work on it would be a few months. I got some quotes for like $10,000 to paint it, and that's almost normal, just so you know, for a classic car. But some people were offering me like, oh, do it for $5,000, etc. So I took it to one place, and the guy was looking at my car, and he's like, you know, the soonest I can probably look at this would be in 4 months from now. And I'm like, damn, so I gotta leave it with you for 4 months? He goes, yeah. So I said, all right, well, let me think about it. I start driving home, and I see another body shop. And man, this story is hard to tell. I'm trying not to get emotional. It really, it's been rough on me. So I find another shop. I'm driving home with my Mustang, and I see a shop. I pull in because I see a bunch of cars parked out front that are in different stages of repair. And I'm approached by this guy, and he compliments my Mustang. He's the owner of the shop. And he's like, you know what, man, we could get this car painted in a week or two. I mean, I'll find time. I got a guy that's helping me here. Yeah, just drop it off, and we'll get it done in a week or two. And I was totally excited. And his price was reasonable. It wasn't like dirt cheap, but it was reasonable. And the fact that I can get my car back in a week, at the most 2, I was really excited. Anyways, this guy had my car for more than 2 weeks. I message him, ask him what's going on. He says, oh, it's got some rust. I'm trying to sand out the rust and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what, man, if you need another week, go for it. I don't want him to rush the job, right? And it sounds like he was being very meticulous and making it perfect. So I thought highly of that. I'm like, that's awesome. This guy's really taking the time to make my car beautiful. And sometimes he would message and say, hey, man, your car's looking amazing. Man, it's tough to tell this story. He's like, the car's amazing, almost done. Another week goes by. He's like, man, we're almost there. I just need to do a couple more things. Okay, 3 months later, he's still working on a car. But he always has these convincing excuses. Like, you know, somebody got sick, or because of COVID, this or that. You know what I mean? In the meantime, my Toyota FJ Cruiser, sitting in my driveway at home, had a tree fall on it from the city. And it destroyed the hood and a couple other things. So I drive the Toyota FJ Cruiser with the destroyed hood to go check on my Mustang. And the guy's like, hey, what happened to your Mustang? And I'm like, dude, a tree fell on it. He's like, what are you gonna do now? And I says, well, you know, I have insurance. And he's like, oh, well, if you have insurance, why don't you have me do an inspection on it, and then we could send it to your insurance people. He's like, I'll do a deep inspection. I'll find everything that's wrong. And I'm like, yeah, cool. How long would that inspection take? Mind you, I already called up a few shops, and they're telling me it could be like a month and a half to get inspected. It was just, there's a backlog, right? And this guy's telling me I can have your car ready in a day or two. And I'm like, wait, you can expect the FJ Cruiser in a day or two? And he's like, yeah, it's just an inspection. He's like, the Mustang's taking a long time because I'm putting my love into it, my craftsmanship. So, you know, that's painting and sanding and all, that takes a lot. But just to inspect it, no, I can do that really quick. So I'm like, sure, go for it. All right, guys, so now he has 2 of my cars. And I know at some of you guys are like, bro, are you serious? Like, you already had your Mustang for 3 months, and now you're stupid enough to drop off another car? Honestly, I trusted the guy, and some of us do that. It's not necessarily smart. Some may call it naive or gullible, but I just really believe the guy. So I dropped the FJ Cruiser off. My insurance company asked me where did I drop it off. I told them. So the agent was like, great. All right, so we're going to keep in contact with him and see what the results are. Anyways, my insurance agent gets back to me and says, hey, man, this guy has not been responding. And, sorry, somebody walked past me. He's like, this guy hasn't been responding to any of our messages, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with the inspection. Ultimately, the insurance agent was like, hey, man, this is getting kind of weird. The guy actually blocked my number. I can't get a hold of him. And I'm also trying to call this guy to ask him, like, dude, what's going on with my Toyota? Let alone my Mustang, right? But at the very least, what's going on with my Toyota? And he's like, oh, I already looked at it. I'm going to start the repairs. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to repair the vehicle. I only wanted you to inspect it. I mean, it's already been like 3 months. You haven't repaired my Mustang. Like, I'm going to really trust you to repair the Toyota in a timely fashion. But he never got back to me. And I'm like, hey, I need my Toyota back. I need my Toyota back. I kept telling him this. And I kept telling the agent via text. So I have all the proof. I kept telling the agent, man, this guy's not getting back to me. And she's like, I know, he's not getting back to me either. And I tried calling him from another number. I actually went to his shop. The agent, the insurance agent, says, I went to his shop and the doors are closed. I don't know what's going on. She's like, you need to get your car out ASAP. So ultimately, I do get the Toyota out. And it is absolutely destroyed. I mean, when I say destroyed, he completely dismantled the Toyota. I don't know what he was thinking. Headlights gone, hood gone, fender gone, parts of the engine gone. I mean, it's totally unrecognizable. And I send this picture to the agent, and she's like, oh my God, what did he do to your car? And I don't even know what, man, there's just so much to the story. Woo. I'll show you a picture of the car too, if you just stay with me on this video. Fast forward, ultimately the cops are called. They handcuff me. That comes later. So the insurance agent was like, "You're not gonna believe this," and I'm like, "What?" She's like, not only did he take the car apart, but we sent him a check, and he actually wrote in a dollar amount and cashed it without your authorization, and he basically charged you for repairs. So you know how you send it to a shop to get repaired, and then the insurance company will cover the price of all the damages? Well, I never authorized this guy to repair my car. They sent him a blank check. And he filled in the dollar amount of what it would cost to repair the whole vehicle, brand new this, brand new that, to make it look new again. First of all, he didn't do any of that. He wrote in his dollar amount. I didn't sign the check, nor did the agent authorize it, but he cashed it. And I'm like, that's illegal. And the agent's like, yes, that is illegal. That's fraud. So the agent was like, well, don't worry. We're going to get this handled. We'll have to take your car maybe to another shop. We'll get it fixed. And she's like, I just need to okay it with my supervisor. Eventually, the supervisor calls me a few days later and says, hey, guy, so this guy cashed your check. It's fraud. And I'm like, yeah, it is. She's like, so it's your responsibility to recover it. It's out of our hands now. And I'm like, wait a minute. This wasn't this was your check. This is your responsibility to, this is tough. This story's tough. This story's hard to tell. She's like, it's your responsibility to, this is Progressive Insurance, by the way. This is your responsibility to recover the money. And I'm like, really? You want me to go to the shop and be like, I want my money, and then get into a fight with this guy? And they're like, well, no, but I would go down a legal route. Anyways, that's that with the Toyota. Toyota's done. I still don't have it repaired. And yeah, I've tried calling the insurance company and threatening them and with lawsuits and all that. Nothing's happening. Now, he still has my Mustang. Another month goes by, another month goes by, another month goes by. Here we are, 6 months later. He still has my Mustang. And he is being really mean to me. I'm being very nice. At no point in any of these text messages do I say, bro, if you don't give me my car back, I'm going to F you up or nothing like that. I've never said anything like that. I'm always like, can you please tell me what's going on? At least send me a picture. Anyways, he sends me a picture, which most likely was photoshopped, of the car looking nice, saying, hey man, we're getting progress on it. I'm looking at these photos. This isn't my car. Like, it's my car, but I think he just took he went into like Microsoft Paint and painted it to make it look like he was doing something. Then I message him again and he said, hey man, the car's all painted. I just got to do some finishing touches. I says, can you send me some photos? He said, yeah, I'll send you a photo in a minute. Hour and a half goes by, and I'm like, hey man, you said you would send me a photo in a minute. It's been an hour and a half. And he says, then come and get your car. No, well, okay. After I said, it's been an hour and a half, yeah, he did. He said, come and get your car or wait. And I'm like, are you serious? Now I call him up and I'm like, bro, what's going on with my car? He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you told me you would message me some photos of the car, and he hung up on me. And then I called him back and said, dude, why would you hang up? And he hung up again. And then he messaged me, wait, I'm busy right now. All right. That was probably like a Wednesday or something. I was just fuming at that point. I started having bad thoughts. Like, I'm going to go there and beat the guy up. I'm going to go over there and forcefully take my car back. I did call the police before all of this, and they told me this is a civil issue and not a criminal issue. So if you want your car, take them to court. I felt lost. I was so upset. I really thought I was going to go to jail. I'm like, I'm going to go there and take my car by force. He's going to fight me, and it's not going to end well, and I'm going to go to prison. And I couldn't shake that thought out of my head, to go do that. And everybody that I talk to is like, hey man, nobody's encouraging. Everybody says, man, if I were you, I'd go there and whoop his butt. If I were you, I'd go, man, I would, they just, all these bad things. I'll go John Wick on them and blow the place up. Just crazy things like that. And that wasn't helping my psyche. I was already like in a real negative place and very emotional and really just exhausted from this whole ordeal for 6 months. So on Sunday, this last Sunday, today's the 21st, what are we at, Tuesday? I just quietly left the house and said, I'm gonna go get my my car. It's in Stockton, California. I'll leave the address in the description with the phone number, why not, of the place. I drive to Stockton, and really I had intentions of going there, and I didn't. I did have to go pick up something in Stockton from an auction house. And so I drive past his shop, and of course it's closed. So I'm like, cool, I guess nothing's gonna happen. He's not there. I did see a shop next door to his shop open, and I drove up, and I'm like, let me go ask these people, do they know anything about this guy? Well, I pull up, and the guy was like, how you doing, man? And I'm like, hey, man, this guy's got my Mustang. And he's like, you know the guy's in there. I'm like, the guy that owns the shop is in there? He goes, yeah. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, want me to get him? I said, well, he's not going to come out for me. He goes, no, I'll just tell him that somebody's here for a job interview, and then he will, he'll come outside, and then you can just talk to him or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, but just move your car over there. So I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually going to confront him. After all these months, I'm going to actually be face to face. And I didn't know how I would respond. I kept saying to myself, this is it, man. You're going to jail, because I'm not going to be able to contain myself. And it was a breaking point. I literally didn't care what happened at this point. And I'm like, I'll go to jail for this. I don't care anymore, dude. This is just unacceptable. And for somebody to do this to you, it's just not right. So the guy walks outside, and he sees me, and he's like, uh-oh. I knew that's what went through his head. And I'm like, where's my car? Where's my car? And he goes like this and just starts walking away. And then, of course, I get right in his face, and I'm screaming, where's my effing car? You effing scammer. You know, I'm yelling everything, and my face is like this close to his face. And then he's like, you're going to hit me? You're going to hit me, bitch? Are you going to hit me? And he's like, go ahead, hit me. And I'm like, and I was going to. I was going to go beyond that, you know? And then the little old Hispanic guy that called him out, you know, that helped me out, was like, no, he's a bad man. Don't do it. He's a bad man. It's not worth it. And had it not been for that guy telling me that, I think things would have ended really bad. Anyways, he goes back in. He goes back inside of the shop, locks the door, and tells me he's calling the cops. And I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened. 6 cop cars roll up. He told them I pointed a gun at them. They come out of their vehicle. Hands, I have to throw my hands in the air. They handcuff me and pat me down and all that stuff. They go through my entire vehicle looking for weapons. Literally dumped the entire glove box, trunk, you know, you name it. Just went through everything. And then they started asking me what the hell is going on. I told them, look, this guy has my car, you know, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm just exhausted. This is too much for one person to just. You guys didn't help me. I've been calling. Nobody wants to help me, and it's been like the whole summer and 6 months, and you know, I'm just trying to tell this officer and let him know the pain I'm going through with this whole thing. And I know, guys, it's just a car, but it's not just a car, man. Imagine messaging this person every few days trying to figure out what's going on, and you've got this Toyota you come home to every day that is absolutely a wreck. My FJ Cruiser, absolutely unrecognizable. You can't drive it, by the way. Absolutely. Wait till you see the Mustang, and then you'll see why I lost it. So then finally the cop was like, all right, man, well, what do you want us to do? I says, if I want my car back. He's like, well, the guy promised he'll have it ready by Monday, 9 a.m. Do you want to wait? And I'm like, Monday, 9 a.m. Cop's like, matter of fact, we'll come and escort you on Monday to pick it up. Okay. All right, well, I have no choice. Monday, 9 a.m. Literally leave the place. Within 10 minutes, I get a message from that guy, and he's like, come Monday at 12 p.m. It'll be ready. And I'm like, I thought it was 9 a.m. He's like, no, 12 p.m. now, and I want an extra $5,000. Extra $5,000, dude. We already made a contract. We agreed on the work, and he wants $5,000 more. So I call the cop back, and I'm like, bro, this guy just went back on the deal, you know. And I should have just taken the car right there on the spot. I agree. But when they said like Monday, I'm like, okay, 2 days. The police are involved. Maybe this is what I needed to do. So I trusted that it would be done. So the cop's like, all right, we're gonna go back. So we go back, and the cop's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I just want my car back. I'll get a tow truck. I'll take it home. And the cop's like, well, so far you've given a few $1,000s. He wants you to fulfill the contract and give him an extra $1,600. He actually wanted more and said he's gonna dismantle the whole car if I don't pay him more. But then I told the cop, dude, the job here says for a complete job. It doesn't say partial or 20. It literally says you pay this much and I will do the entire car. That's his contract. And he came back with a contract where he scratched everything out. He's like, no, this is the contract. And the cop was like, bro, you can't be changing the contract after you guys signed it. You know, I have the original, and the original has nothing crossed out. It doesn't say extra work on it or nothing like that. So the cop's like, so give him back his car. He's going to give you $1,600 extra. So I had my wife go home, grab $1,600 extra, because he said he doesn't take credit cards, which he does. And bring him the $1,600, and cop's like, all right, gave him the $1,600. The guy was like, all right, I'm gonna go get the Mustang. They opened up the gate, and that dude literally just pushed my car out into the street and went back inside. And let me show you what, and man, guys, if I get teary-eyed, you have to understand, this is rough. Look at what he did to my car, dude. Okay. This is my vehicle right here. Look at that. Absolutely destroyed my Mustang. And let me show you another. This is the interior. Mind you, the interior was in beautiful condition. He literally just threw all these random parts. Brand new. I paid a lot of money to have brand new carpets put in here and everything. He just destroyed the car. It is unrecognizable. This is the back of the car. No license plates. No nothing. Just look at that. No latches, no chrome, no weather stripping. Absolutely destroyed my car. And oops, I turned off the lights. I'm sorry. And so here we are. I'll tell you what I've done so far. I've contacted the Better Business Bureau, the Bureau of Automotive Repair. I went on a Mustang Facebook forum and you know, wrote my story. But at the end of the day, half the people are telling me, dude, you're never going to get anything out of this guy. This is a chop shop. This guy's probably unlicensed. Who knows? Other half of the people are like, bro, you'll probably get, let's say you got $10,000. It's going to be $5,000 in lawyer fees. You're going to get $5,000 for a car. A shop across the street from his shop told me you're looking at least a minimum of $15,000 in repairs, minimum, and it could take up to a year to repair it. Yeah, insurance is not helping me. I don't know what to do. I'm just at a loss. So because of that, the last few weeks I haven't made any videos. I've been very emotional. It just took a toll on me. So there you go, guys. Just a little bit of insight, you know. Sometimes it may look like everything's good on the DEFCON 3 side of the world, but other times it's a struggle, and we all go through these struggles. And you know, it could have been worse news. I could have told you guys, hey man, I just found out I had 6 months to live. Could have told you I had a death in the family. But I'm complaining about vehicles. You know, it's just I don't. It's a lot of money, and all I could, you know, you have your little, you daydream, and in my daydream I'm like, man, at some point I'm going to be driving this Mustang again, and I've only driven a car a total of maybe 2 hours in my whole. I mean, since I had the car, I've only driven it a couple of hours, and because I wanted to restore it and make sure it was solid before before I went out there and took it out on the street. And there you go, guys. Anyways, know your worth, know your value, value your time. Next video is gonna be a lot more positive. Be safe.